Sunny, Butch, and 2 other ISS crew members on her team could return to Earth as early as next Wednesday. Try that again. 3, 2, 1. Sunny, Butch, and 2 other ISS crew members on her team could return to Earth as early as next Wednesday if Crew 10 launches tonight.
During the mission, and those are some pretty cool Crew 10 hats that Anne and her crew designed. It says Crew 10 on the front, and on the side there is the Crew 10 patch. There's JAXA astronaut, Japanese astronaut Aki Hoshide, so he's here as a support person for talk today. Very experienced astronaut, of course,
indeed.
as well.
I see Kjell Lindgren often behind the Tesla there as well.
Kjell is there standing with Joe, and he is currently serving a role in space because he has that ground perspective, which if you haven't worked in the control room is sometimes difficult to understand, why the ground is deciding certain things, why they're asking you for certain things, and having that perspective really helps us work more closely and work more efficiently together as a team. He was actually working as a flight director up until his very last training trip to Japan. So pretty recently he was still doing that even while he was in training. So really, really cool story there.
Imagine his confidence is soaring.
And I think just in that last shot, we saw Haley Esparza and Katie O'Neill come out. They are really our prime points of contact for all astronaut operations with SpaceX.
And here they come. Crew 10 taking their first steps outside as they prepare for their journey to the International Space Station. Commander Anne McLean doing some dabbing. Pilot Nicole Ayers, JAXA astronaut and mission specialist Takoya Inishi, and Roscosmos cosmonaut and mission specialist Kirill Peskov. Did you like that dab?
Absolutely. I'm not sure of the story on that one.
Before the crew came in here, they had their meals, of course. The crew members get to dial up their ultimate meal and have the chefs here at the Kennedy Space Center cook up their favorite dish before they fly.
You know what they had?
What's that?
Do you know what they had this time?
So Anne McLean, I sent the questions earlier and exactly decided, but shout out to the staff team facility. Has been providing them with some amazing meals in the days leading up to launch. She says the food is as close to home cooked as we can get. Takoya said he's going to have a Japanese dish. He hadn't decided exactly which one.
I think that they actually had fajitas. Anne told me last night that it ended up being fajitas.
Nice.
They were excited about it, and I know that one of the things that Tak has planned for them on station is that he has a whole bunch of Japanese food that he's going to share with the crew.
Core on countdown. LIO seals removed and installation complete. On schedule.
He mentioned in a news conference that that was important to him, was to share the food from his country with his fellow crewmates.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a bit of a foodie, so food's always important to me. But even people who don't care so much about food really do pay attention to it in space. And I think that's just, kind of because of the monotony. When you have a lot of variety, it can really make a lot of difference to your morale and your overall psychological state. So having a little bit of personal touch is really awesome. We trade food items with the Russian crew members, and then if we have any international partners like Tak, they'll have some Japanese food to share. I flew with Italian astronaut Luca Parmitano. He brought up a special Italian meal for us during my expedition. And also Hazza Ali Al-Mansouri, the very first astronaut from the UAE, he launched with me to the space station, and so they had some very special foods from the UAE as well that we all had to share and have a group meal. So those kinds of things are really, really special.
Well, you were eating good.
We were.
As you folks can tell, Jessica Meir has a tremendous wealth of information and experience in space. And so if you want to ask her a question about today's mission or her experience on her time on the International Space Station, just send it. It was a good brief, as we now find ourselves inside the suit-up room as the 4 members of Crew 10 are getting ready. They've got the main part of their suits
countdown.
on.
Advanced team is open side hatch on schedule.
and they are putting on the remaining parts of their suits, the gloves, the boots. We will be hearing from time to time, as you just heard, communications, what we call loops. This is the command loop that we'll hear the launch director communicate with his crew, as well as the core. When they talk to the astronauts, we'll hear the back and forth once they get into their spacecraft. Just want to make you aware that whenever they have an update, we will pause our commentary so we can listen in. Over the next 4.5 hours, we will walk you through this detailed pre-launch operation and show you all the action live as it's happening from the suit-up room to liftoff. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the background of our co-host today. In 2019, Jessica Meir went out into space for a historic spacewalk. This was back, you launched on a Soyuz, went up to the International Space Station. You and your fellow astronaut, Christina Cook. We'll have that video for you in a second. In the meantime, we are looking at the commander and the pilot for Crew 10 on the left and McLean on the right, pilot Nicole Ayers. And there's Jessica, working hard on the International Space Station. Jessica Meir was in this spacewalk, conducted entirely. She brought Christina Cook to discharge unit. Astronaut support person. This is a taped replay. There she is snapping photos in jumpsuit number 38. Went all the way out to the launch tower. There she is again, saying goodbye to the Crew 2 at the time, helping them with everything they needed. And then Meir served as the assistant to the chief astronaut for commercial crew, and then helped out with the Artemis II astronauts. This was most recently, and there you are, right in the left part of the screen, helping out the Artemis II crew as they got ready for a dress rehearsal for the Artemis II mission, which is planned in February of next year. You also, at the time, were serving as the chief astronaut for the human landing system.
Yeah, I think, this is one of the most exciting things about being an astronaut to me is that we serve many different roles depending on what time it is. So we really gain this incredibly diverse skill set and exposure to all of these different space vehicles, all of these different technologies, and all of the different branches really that we have at the Johnson Space Center. We have ground support astronauts that serve in all of those capacities to help all the different programs and pieces of hardware, technical programs, all the way through, give that crew perspective and be able to provide some information for that. Here you can see in the suit-up room, there's Takuya Onishi and there's Christina Birch. She is the astronaut support person today.
Where did that big tortoise get off to? The one who was walking around yesterday? Yeah. I wonder where he is. I want to get a video from him.
Oh, buy one last night?
No, I mean like in the last couple of weeks, I'm like, order another one because I want to get two a set.
I like it, how small they are. It's very, very